So I just think that that is a dysfunctional way that a lot of us have kind of set up our lives, um, is kind of like, I'll do this, but you don't see anything, and I'll do this. And it's like this trade-off that people kind of develop. Not everybody. I was always somebody who, I've been in a lot of relationships. I don't stay in bad relationships, and when I get stuck in one, I don't like it at all. And I have definitely been stuck in bad ones before, where you're just like, how do I get out of this? I mean, with this person I'm talking about, my last relationship, which was several years ago now, it was all about financial, and I had so many restrictions placed on me once they had diagnosed me. So there was just a lot of stuff, feeling like a burden, and it was all this growth, all this stuff that I had to face to overcome this stuff that was being handed to me, which now, at the time, that it seems like the worst thing in the world, and you can feel like, why is the world out to get me? Why can't I get ahead? Why does everything go wrong? But then you're in it a while, and then you start seeing like, oh my gosh, this was the best gift I could have ever received. Yeah, that brain injury, it didn't hurt me in all the ways that I thought that hurt me. It really has no effect on me. It was the deficits, that getting hung up on deficits can make you feel like things are worse than what they really are. Because now, after, like power through it, there's a lot of good things that it taught me and gave me. It's given me a lot of freedom, and it's given me a lot of different perspectives, a lot of different understandings of things that I didn't understand before. And definitely there's been just a total transformation in me. 100%. Completely different person than I was. And I can see it on the spiritual level after the brain injury, like the universe was pretty well fed up with, it was like I could hear him, and then somehow I got switched off. I'm not sure how. If it's just pain and suffering that we go through, and blaming the outside world. I always knew there was a God, and I never thought that God was bad, or we had to do certain things to be able to have him love us, or any of that stuff. Because I believe we are all fractals of God. God is us. God wanted to experience life. God is the ultimate source of energy, fractaled out into souls, and the creation of matter and energy and all that stuff. But to me, yeah, I always knew there was a God. Like, there was definitely times when I would be sitting there just having the worst time, trapped in my life, just crying and being like, those things where it's just like, why have you forsaken me? Where are you? And I can see once you get through that stuff, like, you can feel like, oh my God, it's so painful. But once you get through it, then you can see like all the stuff that you learned and grew from it, and how it is a positive thing. Most pain and suffering is positive. It's during it that is the hard part. And, there's so much about it that is it's like the water. It's just like a current. Like, these things come in and they move out, and they affect us in certain ways and stuff, but it all is always moving. There's nothing that we're ever going to be stuck. Like, this is my life forever. The only way that that's going to be your life forever is if you choose it. You got to hold on to that pretty tight, because things are always changing. You're always going to meet other people. Anyone you meet at any time, someone in a grocery store or something, can be the person that's going to change your life forever. You know, they're going to introduce you to somebody else or whatever. Things can change in an abrupt moment. You just have to, know that there is positive out there for you. Don't get stuck and caught up in that, my life's always going to suck. Life's always going to be hard, because life is always changing. That's the only definite, is life is always changing. It's just, I just really think you have to really hold on to things and get stuck to not experience change. And I know that there's people that do it, because that's what I thought was the saddest thing about my dad, being an alcoholic and, just never getting to have the experience of what it was like to, raise us kids and be a good dad. And, there's a lot of stuff to be an alcoholic. And then on top of that, he was a pedophile. There's a lot of stuff that you give up to, to live that. Monstrosity. It's like an evil. It's like tuning into evil. Yeah, I'm not sure. I do look forward to having actual conversations with people who are like-minded, because some of the stuff I feel like that I think and understand is way too deep, that people just don't give a shit. So I think I kind of am always teetering on that anyways. But anyways, so back to my story, if it's gonna help anybody, hopefully. But so being in this last relationship and getting, feeling that trap of like, and okay, I'm just gonna make the best of it. Plus, I've been divorced so many times. I don't want to fail again. I just keep failing. And, we got to quit seeing something ending as failing. Why? If something ends, why is it a failure? You obviously learned what you needed to learn from them. You don't need to stay in something forever and have it bashed into your head. Because that's how you start seeing some of the patterns. When you get out of it, like for mine, it was abrupt. It was unexpected. I thought, I had just told somebody when I was in Texas making that movie, I was at the after party or the close party, whatever it's called. And I was telling somebody, I was going to be going home to my husband, and I was just saying, he's just young, he's just like a little puppy. And I went home, and, he's like, okay, well, he wants a divorce. And he's already has it all thought out. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't hand me a whole little itinerary of how it was going to go, and the times, the day, and stuff, because he had already figured it all out. And so, at the time, it was, there was a lot of feelings about it, but the biggest thing was like, I was miserable with this person. I did not want to be with them. I wanted to leave them. And I trapped my own self in that relationship by putting up all of these, well, I can't leave because of this. I can't leave because of this. I can't leave because of this. And so then when he did, and it ripped the rug out from under me, it was super painful at first, but not because, rejection or loss or whatever like that, because I didn't really care. It was a lot of other things, but there was a lot of stuff. But but one of the things is like, why do you give up yourself, especially for somebody you don't even like that much? And like this person, like it's not a person I really even like, especially when you get to know somebody, and it's just like, oh my gosh, you are not somebody who I would want to spend time with then. And there's one thing too with in the beginning of so many relationships, and I really look forward to people being more authentic. But how many people just put on this persona that they think that you will like, and it's not even them. And I had this talk with him because I had already the breakup from Valentine's Day. I felt very duped in that relationship. I felt really tricked. Like it was one way, and then as soon as he had where he felt he had legal stuff over my life, a completely different person came out. Not even the same person. And so I had talked to this guy beforehand, about, just being real and being authentic, talking about real stuff and everything. And so we had those talks, and he really thought he was. And he wasn't at all. I think people have so many barriers and stuff up about themselves. They have no awareness of themselves. They have no clue. They think that they are who they think they are, and they aren't. You're not who you think you are. You are who others think you are. It's like a reflection or something, but you're definitely not who you think you are. And but you can't overthink it. You can't get too caught up in, well, who am I? You've got to just, become what the things that you're interested in, what the things that drive you, your passions. That's how you just develop yourself. But most people, they don't have a clue who they are. And so that relationship was just such a struggle. And then, but the part of having to find myself in all of those, things of like, well, I got to stay with them because I'm not even supposed to drive. How am I going to drive? How am I going to be independent? I'm not going to be, all that stuff. So those were kind of the things I had to face, a lot of stuff just about myself. And that is where they have that whole thing about the dark night of the soul. And it is facing the dark part of yourself. And so mine, I had to have this surgery, lose everything, and then, stumble through life for a few years, still, not figuring it out. And then once this happened, and it was like this last shove, then it was just like everything just started changing and making sense. And I started having such a deeper understanding. And my life was spiraling for a while because once he left, then it put into motion because I was never on the title of the house. It was already in motion about me losing the house. And my lawyer wanted me to not stay at that house. She said it was way overpriced. It was a problem with him and his financing and stuff like that. And I had paid for, I had a bunch of stuff in my name that he wanted. So he took that stuff and, it was supposed to be in integrity that, you pay this stuff and I'll pay this stuff. And he didn't. He had all of that stuff repossessed. And, put me in a huge problem. And my lawyer like, stop paying the house. Everybody was telling me, stop paying the house. And then it was like, why am I making his credit better when he did? And they've already told me that I need to not stay at this house. So, basically, I was going to lose my house again. And I'd already lost my house after the brain thing. So I was going to lose my home again. And it's not, I don't know. For me, I really like to have a home. I like to have a place that's mine and have my stuff and whatever. So to lose my home is traumatic. And then I just felt so unsettled. Like I can't get settled. Losing another home. I can't, all I want to do is just have like a home and roots and stuff. And I was losing another one. And then, that whole thing, I think I even talked about it before, but I don't remember. But, then my daughter having to move in. And then she couldn't get a place by herself. So I moved with her, and I kept trying to fill out a thing to get my own house. And he had just done that big ding on my credit, so it was really messing with my house thing. And her and I moved in this house, and then I really liked the area. It was nowhere that I had lived before, and I really liked the house. So I really wanted to buy that house, and I knew the person who was renting it wanted to sell it, and then they sold it right out from under us right after we moved in. And so I was gonna have to move again, and then I moved out of that one, and then I don't remember. Oh, my one daughter got an apartment, and I had 2 big dogs. There's no way I'm gonna go live in an apartment, and so I went to go stay at my daughter's, and I was filling out stuff to buy a house. I'd already had one person tell me that I definitely had a loan with them. And so I went to go stay with this other daughter, and I was looking for a house at the time. And all of the stuff was a bunch of weird stuff with the whole house thing. And I think I've talked about it before, but I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if I just told somebody or if I've talked about it. But yeah, it was a whole weird thing where I could totally see manifestation was just really, and this was, I had already gone through a lot of the healing and stuff, the dark night, but once I went through the dark night, then it put me into this way more spiritually connected, way more than what people could deal with. People could not deal with it at all. They just thought I had gone crazy and stuff, and you know, just this total awareness that happens. So I just I had just a total awareness of things that just completely shifted, and I was just focused so much on all of that stuff, and with the healing, and there's a lot. I keep thinking of all the different things, but it kind of just go off on a whole nother story, because there was a lot of different things that were coming at me with the healing, and that's where I started also seeing about the spiritual stuff, because they started bringing me signs and information, and it started being weird. Like, they would bring me certain information, they would bring me certain people's names, they would bring me all sorts of stuff. And then I started seeing, like, okay, this isn't by accident. This is just, this isn't just like, this is synchronistic things. This is on purpose, trying to show me and teach me and stuff. And where I've gotten to now is just completely different, because now I feel like I completely understanding what they're telling me to a much higher degree. Everything just started making sense. Like, I have such an understanding of things that I didn't have before. But anyways, that is still skipped around, but I'm gonna I'll just leave it with that for now. But that is a lot of my story. I think if there's anybody who wants to know more about certain things, then they can always ask, like, if they're going through something and they want to know, like, what did you do about this, or how did you get through that? Then yeah, you can just email me. I have my email down in that description box thing. But yeah, so I'll just talk more later. Thanks.